Good afternoon, everybody. How are you? My name's Iris Smith, and I'm the owner of a small business called Flower Patch. And at the Flower Patch, I make beautiful artificial flower arrangements for all occasions. Well, I hope you had a fabulous weekend, guys, and I hope if the weather was nice, you was enjoying the sun. I had a busy weekend, obviously in the garden, trimming my 30-foot long hedge, and then doing some gardening. My husband was on the back doing gardening, then the housework, and then I also had my choir concert, which went fabulous. We had great feedback, and which was fantastic. Right. I've had a request of somebody if I could just do a small arrangement in, they said a glass vase or something, or container or anything like that. And if I've got any coral colours. They like pinks and that, but they see a lot of pink, but they just wanted something a little bit off from the pinks, and they like the coral. So I'm going to do them, do their wish for them. So the container that I've got is just this glass one, but it comes with this little like tin or iron type thing around it. It has got a handle on. It's like probably where you could put a candle in it, I guess. I've put a bit of foam, wrapped it in wreath wrap, and made the foam slightly bigger than the top so it fits really tightly. I haven't glued it in. It may, if I push things in, I'm going to have to be careful to hold the foam so the foam doesn't pop down. So then that's because I've not glued it in. So that's what we're going to use. So instead, now I haven't really got much out, but I've been into my leftover bucket again, thinking, well, this would be great for leftovers. So I've got some leftovers, as well as I think the odd bit of fresh, new stem. So in my leftovers, I found some sage leaves. So I thought, well, they would look nice with them being light. It would soften it up, against the dark frame of the container, and just add a bit of softness in. So I've got the last few leftovers of the sage leaves. I found these in, I haven't put a band around them, but I found these in them. These are a little bit of dark brown, and with the framing on the container being dark brown, I've got these like twined fern. So there was only 3 pieces, and then I found 4 oddments or leftover bits of grass. So I just thought, well, I could just put those in for, just to add a little bit extra in. And I did find some more right at the bottom, some of our fern, the one where it's got several leaves on. These have obviously been cut off the main stem. Oops, if I can get that one off. Where I've cut them off and not needed the bottom parts or the top parts, whichever. So we've got, I think, 5 of those. There was, I think, 6, but I left one in the bucket. Now I've got these leftovers as well, and I forget what these are called. I don't know if it's jasmine or something. I'm not sure. I forget. But they've got like a little tint of pink on, and these are beautiful. But again, I don't know how many is here. They was left on the bunch like that, so I've just grabbed the bunch of those out. And I also have leftovers before starting the new stems of my dusted twined fern. So that really, the brown ones are like these green ones, but in brown. So I've got these as well, and they would look lovely for movement and wispy bits. Again, me and my wispy bits, guys. And I've finally gone through my leftover bucket, emptied the leftover bucket, and found every one of last piece of the ficus. So I thought I may incorporate some of those as well. Now these I've cut off the fresh stem. The stems are quite big, but I've cut them down and placed the 4 of them anyway, because the stems were only small when I cut them on picks, just to elongate them a little bit. So I've got of these poppy heads, seed heads that I'm going to use, and just add a little bit of an interest and a different contrast against everything else. Now these are some of our, I think, mixture of roses and peonies, I think, or cabbage roses, with some of this, I don't know what this is called here, but we've got those, and they're in the coral colour, and they've got a little bit of foliage with them as well, and the odd bit of fern and some leaves. So, oh, and little white flowers. So I thought we'll use those. And then I've got coral. I think these are baby chrysanthemums. The baby chrysanthemums in coral as well. And they've got their own fern on, some little swirly pieces on as well, with some foliage. So we've got those. Oh, and they've got a little daisy on some of them as well. So I've got those in coral. And I just thought to add a little bit of wispiness, I've just taken out one fresh stem of the salvia. So I thought we could add in some salvia as well. It's slightly not as dark as that coral, but it's not far off. So I thought, just to give it a different tone instead of having all the same colour. I know the lady said coral, but I have been looking at something to add in as white, and I can't make my mind up. I've been looking and looking. I may add in some baby anthuriums, or maybe some seeds. I don't know. Well, sort of like, if I decide, I'll grab them. I haven't got them out because I just can't make my mind up. There's that many things there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the camera down. I haven't done a bow. I don't think I want a bow. So we're just going to do it, without a bow, I think, today. So I'm going to bring the camera down and we're going to start doing our project for today. So let's bring it down. I may come a little bit more forward, and let's bring it like that, I think. So, first of all, I was thinking I wanted to add in some of our sage leaves around, because it's going to be a 360 degrees arrangement. Oh, I haven't even got my clippers out. How naughty. So we're going to have these coming around, and because they flop over, because there's no wire in these, that would look lovely with them just hanging over. So that's what we're going to do with these. So I'm going to start at the side here, and I'm going to let it just flop. I do like these because they're the texture of the lamb's ear. And I've placed one on this side. If you look at this foam like it's a square, then I'm placing one like in the corner as well. So one on the side, one on each corner. Then one in the middle here. It's just so then it goes all the way around. And we'll bring one here again. So it's like creating like a dome. Cut several. One in the center here, again as though it's a square. One on this corner. One on the front. And then one on that final corner here. So you've got that sort of an effect above as you look down on it. And I've got one left. I don't know whether to place that. Yeah, I'm going to put that in the middle. And I'm just going to sit that like that. And I'm also, with me putting the foam in, I don't want to push my stems through so they're seen inside the glass. Now, if I want, I could pull this out and put a little candle at the bottom for a bit of decoration. And do that instead. So that would be good, especially if you've not glued it in. I'm not going to do that because the lady just said a glass container. So I'm going to use bits of this ficus and I'm just going to dot these. Well, I say dot, place these around. Not as many as I have with the sage. So I'm sort of like going to go on the top with these. Some are longer than the others. We can work with that. And just give it a little bend as well. And I'm going in like 4 corners sort of thing. I'm just bending it slightly over. And also here. If any seem a bit too, you know, you've got a bit too many on, like that one I think is sticking out a little bit too much, I'll trim that off and then just slightly push it a bit more. So it's like you've got it like that there. Again, I don't want it too full. I'll hold those to the side in case I want to use those a little bit later. Because we have got our, you know, our fern as well. So I may place it, oops, the daisy. Oh, I've got everything tangled up. Put those ones there. So I'm going to use the fern. And I think maybe, yeah, I'm going to use the fern coming around here, or do I use the other one around there instead? So we'll try that one. Let's see which one gives us a nice, oh, well, I'm going to use this one straight away. So I'm going to bring these where we've been placing. I'm not going to place them in between every area where the sage leaves is. It's just going to basically be maybe on 4 of the pretend corners. I'll call them pretend corners because it is a round foam that I've placed in. And have these just, you know, popping out. We'll bring one here as well. If you haven't got this sort of a fern, just any fern would, you know, would also look pretty. And then we'll bring one, oops, here as well. And have that. So it's looks like obviously they're all, you know, movement around the sides. So I'm gonna, I think, bring some up above, because bring that movement up above as well. It's all ink. And where I've gone like on the sides in each corner, I'm bringing these on the top in between the ones on the corner, so it makes that triangle, if you can see. And then one more. So we've just got those around there. I'm not going to use these last 3 pieces. So we'll place those there. I have got the brown ones, so let's get these brown twined here and bring these in the middle for like a triangular position. So one like that. And then one like so. So we've just got it like that. I think I'll add these a little bit later. And maybe the fern. Where's the... I've got some grass, haven't I? Let's place these little pieces of grass in. Because there's 4, we'll place them on the corners again. And bring those, so there's like just some little bits of grass. And then the last one. Let's get that glue off. Like that. So we've got that in now. So before we carry on, I want to be adding in our floral. Let's just take the band off. We've got roses. How many of those have we got? Is it just one? I think it's just that one. 1, 2, 3. So we've got 4 of those. 1, 2, 3, and then 6 of those. So I'm going to bring these again. If I bring those just around this area at the bottom. Yeah. So I'm going to bring those here. Let me take the tags off. Let's see how long we'd like them. Not exceptionally long, because I want to be able to see the container. So maybe a little bit shorter. Take the bottom leaf off. We can use that and place it on a pick, because we don't want these exceptionally long. So I'm just going to place a bit of colour down at the bottom, just to mix in with it along there. Let's take that leaf off as well. Cut the stem. If I prepare these, cut that. I don't know what the weather's like where you are, guys, but here outside is glorious. Really, really nice. So, with these, so we've got one there, so I'm going to bring one right opposite. And there. And I'm going to bring one this side. That's a bit sticking out a little bit too much. I think I need to cut that a little bit shorter. Like that, and then bring the other one here. I'm just placing a 45-degree angle. So we've got the leaves. I'm going to place these leaves on picks. I'm placing them on longer, you know, the long picks. I'm not going to cut these short, because I'm going to have these leaves a bit higher up. There's only 3. There wasn't one on one of the others. So because there's 3, let's cut. Okay, I'm going to bring and just add these in at the top. There's a triangular position. And I'm going in between the 3 brown twined fern with them, but not as high. Right, I've got 6 of these. 2. So let's see. So I'm going to bring these in between where I've placed these ones at the side, but I'm bringing these at the top. So again, with the flowers, I've created that triangular position. So let's do that with these. So as you can see, like that. Oh, I've got too many leaves on this one. And bring this one in here. I'm just slightly bending the heads, not much. Let's just move some of the foliage. And one more. And then I'm going to put one in the center. As well. Then I'm going to bring one here. Just straighten it up. I can see a glue string. I can't get it. There we have it. So it looks now like that on top. Doesn't that look pretty? Isn't it a pretty colour? So I've got one of those left. I can use that as something else. Now I've got this. Can I pull those off? Yes. So because I've got 3, I'll use those in it as well. Place these on picks. 1, 2, 3. Again, you know, if you've just got one stem of it, but it's got 3 flowers on, and you can peel them off or pull them off and place them on a single pick like so. And then you can spread them around on your arrangement. It looks pretty because it's got green in it. Really pretty. So let's have a look. What I'm going to do with these, I'm going to bring these just around the top, again in a triangular position. So we've added those in like that. So I've got, let's get one of these out. Oh, baby chrysanthemums. I keep wanting to say carnations. I think it may need some white. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 stems. Let's take the tag off. I just want to check that they've all got flowers on. Yeah. So if I cut all of these off, and they are push-ups. The foliage on here are push-ups, so you can manipulate where you would like the foliage. If you would like it further down on a piece down here and have it like that, you know, then that's fine, or push it right up with the flowers. I quite like the look of that one. And I'm going to, because I've got 7, let's have a look which types, because some of them will be different to the others. So that's the same. That's just got a fern and a daisy. That's got a fern and a daisy. That hasn't got anything. Oh no, that's sorry, my fault. That's the same as that. So I think the one with the fern and the daisy, I'll place one side here and one side there. And then the ones where I've got the other 2 of the same. Oh no, oh my goodness, guys, I've got it wrong. There's 3 with the fern and the daisy on, and 1 just with 1 flower. So fern and the daisy, 3 different areas around the bottom, or I may just use the one with just 1 flower as well. Again, try to keep it in a natural look, so they don't, you know, everything's not uniformed. Just to bring that little bit of colour at the bottom, right at the bottom as well, with the sage leaves, just so you've got that. Again, you've got all the colour above. Bring that there. Don't they look pretty? And bring one at the side here. I'm pushing these up. Again, as I say, I'd like to see them where they are pushed up. So we've got those little bit of daisies there. So then I've got the others. If I need any more, I'll get some more. Because I've got 3 and we've placed 3 of these in, I'm going to put one underneath of these 3, because I've got 3 left of these. So I'm going to place those just slightly under, just like we have there, and do the same on here. Maybe a little bit more in, like that. think if I'm being quite honest, I'd like a fourth one in because there's a bit of a gap there. So I'm going to grab the fourth off of the other stem. And I'm going to place one here. Doesn't that look pretty? So I don't need no more, I don't think. Let's have a look. Oops, is it? Do I just bring some up above? Why not? How many have we got? One, two. Let's bring 3 above. We'll not need no more. So we'll bring 3 above as well. I'm going to bring these 3 up in around those central rows at the top. If I can push these up. There we have it. So let's get these around the central rows. There. And then another one on this side. And I've come just around similar height to what the rose is, but I'm allowing the rose to be probably 1/2 centimetre taller, not much. Just so it looks nice and full at the top. Now, doesn't that look wonderful? Absolutely, really, really pretty colour. So I've got 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's just, there's 3 big and 2 small. Right, and then we've got those as well. So I'm going to put in our poppy heads, and I'm going to place, I want the big ones above so we can see. I should have cut big ones off instead of some small, but never mind. We will work with what we've got. If I've got those, 1, 2, so 1 over here. Again, I'm doing these in the triangular position. And then I've got these 2 that I'll bring up above. Again, around the rows in the centre. Oops, I've caught myself. Just like. So we've just added those in and around, and then a couple in between next to the rows at the top. I don't know about, I will add some fern. I want to look at our salvia. Now, how many do we get on here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But let's cut the bottom one off first and just work his way around. Yeah, that's sticking out just perfect. It's not too much. So I'm going to have to take these off because there's 2 on that one. Let's see. Just start off with that. Where's the one with 2? Here. Now, do I place that where I've got the poppies here? Do I bring this underneath the rose but on each side? I think that would be a better idea. So if I just stand up, oh, I can't get it in. It would help if I'd put a point on it, wouldn't it? There, so that's either side. At the top of the rose, just bend that a little bit more, like that. I bring one down here, and I'm going to bring again, I'm going to try to, let me bring it close to me. Just bring some movement, and then one around here as well. What's a daisy? I've got 3 left, so I want to bring the other 3 around the bottom. I'm trying to use and space them around, you know, the top and the bottom. Again, bringing some of that colour down. I think one's needed around here. And there, and then one down here. Oh, I think that's a bit too long, that stem, so let's cut that one. Just shorten it a little. Better. So we brought some of the salvia down at the bottom as well. Let's just have a look. Isn't that wonderful? The salvia at the top. As you can see with the poppy heads here, I've put them either side there. So with the salvia, I place those on the opposite sides, so they're not all around the poppy heads. So we have fern. I was using this morning on another project, some shakibi oddments, just small, what I did on a wreath. I had some left, so I may insert those as well around the bottom. And now I'm just adding a bit of fern in as well. I know we have the dusted twine fern. We're just adding another different fern in as well. Just adds that little bit extra. Two, I'll bring to the top. So again, let's bring them. I'm just standing up so I can see above. And I'm spreading them so they look like there's more of them in. So that's what we've done there. Isn't that nice? Something lovely to sit, you know, just on your cabinet or somewhere pretty like that. Right, I've got these leftovers. Do I take them off individually or keep them as a cluster? I don't know if that's a bit too much of a cluster. I think they're a bit too much. Something's telling me no. So, what can I use? Let's think. Oh, I've forgotten one. So they can go back in my leftover bucket. So let's have a think. Before we carry on, I've got just these leftover from the wreath I did this morning. And I don't know how many's here, place these around the bottom just to hide that oops a daisy. I may cut some up, or do I do it as no, I'm going to add some in like this because there's a gap there and I want to cover that gap. Just with a bit of dark foliage. Let's have a look. There's a gap here. Let's cover this bit as well. And as well, just by adding some darker foliage in as well, also, you know, makes it look really pretty. Let's see, there's one under here. those. I've got two single ones. I'm gonna place one here. I think I need something differently, something lighter in. Something of a lighter colour. Let's have a look. Right, let me just go and have a look, everybody. See, now I need something that's not going to be too airy. Just seen something that... or do I? I've got these berries, haven't I? Could use those. I'll grab those, but I think personally I think I want something white. I don't know whether to use the rose, the calla lilies. Let's have a look. Oh, they would look nice. You know me and my calla lilies, guys. I have a thing for calla lilies, the little ones. Or if it's not those, I think the calla lilies, or could it be those little mini roses? Let's stick to the calla lilies. I've got here one where it's just got two stems left on this big stem. Yeah, it's got to be calla lilies. I want that movement. So let's push these to the top. So where do I... Yeah, that's going to have to go there. If I just pop one in and then show you. Again, to bring it alive a bit, just here, look. Doesn't that look pretty? The movement. I love the movement of the calla lilies. Just again do that with that one. Right, let's get a fresh stem. So I'm going to bring one here also. And then I'm going to, what I've basically done is gone 1, 2, 3, and then one's going to go there as 4. So I'll place this one over this side. So you've got that there as well. And then I think I'm going to need one at the top. I may have to cut into another bunch. So let's just push these up, because these are pushers as well. So let's see. I think I'm going to bring, I want one more. Let's just cut one more. Because when you're doing things like this, just always bear in mind, you know, the balance. It's like I want the 3 around the bottom. I've placed 4 at the top and then 1 in the centre. So I don't want the stems exceptionally long for around the bottom. So I'm cutting the stems shorter. So I'm bringing those down at the bottom, as you can see. I may want one more actually. Just give that little movement around again, bringing what's up above down below. Yeah, we want one more. Oops, I nearly used my scissors then. So we've got those all down the bottom, and then I want this final one up above, right in around the centre. Let me just, I may have to lift that rose a little bit. Just so you can see, because it's starting to become hidden. So let's take it out. I did push it in quite deep. Can't see. That's better. So it's more noticeable. So I don't need no more calla lilies. What about the odd berry? We'll add a few berries. I don't know how many I need. I'm just going to, I've placed some on picks in advance. Because I like, with these berries, I like them to go slightly, you know, further. So these have got a hint of pink in them. So let's get these in as well. And I'm going to be placing these where I think there's a little gap, like there. There was a little bit of a gap. So I'm going to be looking for a few gaps where there could be something just to add in. Let me start around the bottom area first so I don't get too confused where I've gone. So we'll start at the bottom and then work his way up. maybe one more. Around here. There. So now we'll come up. I may have to stand for this bit. Oh, I've just placed them in. Oh my good gracious me. Quick, quick. Let's get the glue off before it sets. Perfect. Oh my goodness, have you ever done anything like that, guys? Go on in, that's it. I think one round here. Right, I've got 2 left. Is there anywhere else I can put them? I may bring... Oops, I ought to cut them. Bring them along the bottom, right at the bottom. I've got that there. And use that as a little bit of depth there. And do the same on this side. So that looks better as well from the top, as you can see. Doesn't that look pretty? Really, really pretty. So I'm not going to put anything else in because I could, you know, you could go and keep adding and adding. And I'm a, you know, true believer, if it's not adding any more interest or any more wow factor to your arrangement, then that means you need to stop. If it does add an extra bit of wow factor by placing something else in, then add that in. But then check again when you're going to add in something else if that piece adds any more, you know, wow factor. And if it doesn't, then definitely you need, that's telling you you need to stop. If, you know, I hope that's, you know, makes sense. So that is our beautiful arrangement in coral for the ladies, still with the glass container, so you can still see it. Again, you could put a candle, a small candle in there as well. You can get them about 3 inches high, which would sit lovely, probably around where this the line is here. You can get candles that big, sit that in there, or an artificial one as well, and have that glowing. And yeah, and from the top again you've got your rose, and then I've brought a triangle of baby chrysanthemums in. I've bought 4 roses around the edge there, and the 5th one there, and then I've added in 1 piece of this fern in the center but spread it out, and then I've put 2 poppy heads there, and then put then 1 calla lily in, and then again kept it nice and flowy so it looks really pretty. And I put 2 salvia, sorry, here and here, and then the bigger poppy heads around the top as well, mid-range I guess. And then by adding the little seed heads, you know, with a bit of pink on, you know, it blends in with them lovely. And using the the sage leaves around the bottom as well. You know, it sort of like gives that softness. And then bring in the callas, what are down at the bottom, around the mid-range, and also one at the top. So I'm incorporating the whole of the floral around. And it makes it look really, really pretty. And again, I've added in the ficus, but not too much. And I've added in those little odd pieces of the shakibi, what I had left from this morning. And then the dusted twined fern as well. This one here, that's in. So, you know, to give a bit of movement along the bottom. And I've got the odd piece around the top as well. And then these 3 pieces of the brown twined fern, which sit at the top, which blend in fabulous with the coral. And plus we've got this colour on our container. So if you wanted to add a ribbon, you could, you know, add a ribbon. I mean, there's a handle here, so you could attach a ribbon here underneath. Again, I don't want to, because I think if it was me, I would put a candle inside. But again, I've done it because like this without a candle, because the lady didn't state a candle, so I've done it like that. And I hope that, you know, that gives the lady some fabulous ideas to, you know, have a go and how to do something looking so pretty on a glass vase or container. You don't always have to sort of like show your stems when you've got a glass container. You can just place glue it in if you wish. Your foam, or like me, I've made it extra tight. I've cut it slightly bigger than the actual hole of the top of the container and pushed it in so it's really quite tight. So, and then that should hold it. And again, if you wanted to change that look, because I haven't glued it in, you could pull all of the floral out and then replace it with a different colour and save this one for when you want it back in again. So it can be quite versatile by not gluing them in. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys. I quite like that. I like coral. It's a lovely colour. So if you know, I'm going to bring the camera up. Let's just bring it up. Oh my goodness. I've pulled it off the stand, guys. Oh my goodness. That's a good start. I always do something wrong. Here we go. Back to how we should be. So, sorry about that. You know, when I analyse the video later, I'm going to probably be sitting there and then all of a sudden forgetting that it happened. And when it does, because I won't cut and edit, I don't cut and edit. Not because I can't. I can, but I don't think I should. I'm one of these people that tend to prefer you to see if anything goes wrong. I'm only human, you know, at the end of the day. So I'd like you to see if I make a mistake or if I make a little boo-boo, you know, and how I rectify it or whatever, you know, the situation may be. You never know. You could be watching my feet all day long and I won't know anything about it. So, but yeah, at the end of the day, this is what we've created. Doesn't it look beautiful? Lovely colours. And if it inspires you to do something in a glass vase, again, even if it's a square, you know, glass vase, that's fine. It's the same principle. And if you want to put a taller candle in a glass vase at the bottom, you know, as decor, then add it in. And again, with the square vase, you know, you don't have to glue it in, you know, to make it versatile so you can change it, but save the one that you've got, you know, that you've taken out for another time and place it back in at another stage. You can do seasonal ones. So again, each season you can take this one out. Then the next season comes along, you could put one in for that and then save this season for next year. Things like that. And that will save on a lot of pennies. So, again, I hope you enjoyed that. Sorry about the camera. I can't get that out of my mind. Sorry about the camera. I hope you give it a go, even if it's not in coral colours, in the colour of your choice. You know, whether it be a beautiful sunny yellow, a pastel, or a rich colour, you know, really rich, deep colour, blues, you know, or whites, just plain neutral colours as well. Anything that suits, you know, suits yourself or a customer, or just as a different, you know, colour to what you normally do. You know, I was always taught, if, you know, if I'm used to doing one certain colour, try to do another colour, because the more colours you do, the more you become familiar with different colours and you know, different tones of that colour, and then it helps you also along the way to know what different tones will go with different colour, you know, different tones against different tones. That's what I'm saying. So if I had this coral colour, which is darker than that one, and then this is slightly lighter than that one, as well as that one. So there's different tones. So I was always told to think outside the box. So again, give it a go, guys, and enjoy it. And if it's not working how you want to do it to start with, don't worry. Don't worry. The best thing about artificial, you can take them out and replace them in a different position. So have fun, enjoy, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Please subscribe, share and like to the world, to everybody who wants to see me make these little boo-boos. I've got to analyse the video tonight, definitely, and have, you know, a little bit of a giggle along the way. So have a great day, guys, and again, please subscribe, share and like, as it just does help my business get recognised. You know, when people search for flower arrangements or artificial flower arranging, my name would hopefully pop up and climb that ladder to the top with all the other wonderful designers. So have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow. So bye for now, guys. God bless and take care. Bye-bye. Who would have known? You see my feet. I've yet to finish doing my workbench. I haven't put a front on it yet. Never mind, we'll get there. So there's our lovely, they're like a ruffled petal on the ends of our roses. There's our poppy heads with our seeds. I don't know if you can see the little bit of the pink in them. Just a slight bit here, look. Not much. There's our lovely coral chrysanthemums. And again, I don't know what these are, but they're lovely. Our lovely calla lilies. And my cat. He's just come in. The sage leaves. Our twined fern here. Let's move it around and see. Oh, yes. And here are little, I don't know if they're cabbage roses or peonies. And then our salvia, our lovely salvia. What else did I put in? Oh, yes, our shakibi and our lovely ficus in there as well. And our lovely sage-coloured fern. Did I say the dusted twined fern here? I can't remember. I'm going loopy. But that's how it looks, guys, and it would sit lovely, you know, on your cabinet, in your entrance hallway, in a window, you know, on your dinner table, wherever you'd like it to be placed, or even on a shelf, a bookshelf, anywhere. So I hope you give it a go, guys. Have a wonderful time doing it. Take care, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye for now.